Welcome. Welcome to driving lesson 3. Today's topic is AARTO ACT updates. Back in lesson 1, part 3, we touched on the AARTO ACT demerit system. At the time, we shared the planned start dates, but as you know, things can change, and they did. Today, I will walk you through the latest updates, give you a quick history to the Act, and share some thoughts on what it means for the drivers. We are going to discuss the following topics: the history of the AARTO Act, Act 46 of 1998, the latest implementation timeline, reasons for implementation postponement, a different perspective from citizens, and possible solutions. The history of the AARTO Act. It has been 27 years since the AARTO Act was enacted, yet its implementation continues to face delays due to persistent challenges. Let's look at the history to understand the challenges and delays. So in 1998, the AARTO Act was enacted with an objective to streamline traffic law enforcement by replacing criminal procedure for minor offenses, reduce court backlog, improve driver behavior, introduce a demerit points system. In 2008 to 2019, a pilot phase was introduced in Johannesburg and Tshwane. It was not successful due to operational challenges, procedural errors, and feedback delays. In 2019, the AARTO Act was amended to strengthen the original framework, and then they added the following: a national demerit point system, an appeals tribunal, rehabilitation program to reduce points, electronic services of notices, email, and post. (2020 to 2023) constitutional challenges. AARTO challenged the Act's constitutionality, arguing it undermines provisional powers. The Constitutional Court upheld the Act in July 2023, clearing the way for the national rollout. 2024 to 2025, the implementation process was delayed, citing municipality readiness, officers training program, budget constraints, lack of system integration. Now we're at 2026 to 2027, there's a new timeline. So we will discuss the latest timelines later on. Let's take a look at the proposed timeline before changes on the 10th of November 2025. So the original timeline was supposed to begin on the 1st of December 2025. So the AARTO Act rollout was supposed to begin in 69 municipalities, then expanded to remaining municipalities in April 2026, and the demerit system points to go live nationwide in September 2026. And on the 10th of November 2025, the Department of Transport announced the postponement to the rollout in 69 municipalities to 1st July 2026. The Act is and remains vital for reducing the road traffic accidents. Unfortunately, while South Africans excel at drafting plans, laws, and regulations, we consistently fall short when it comes to execution. Think about it, waiting almost 30 years for action is not just a delay, is excessive. And when government systems stall for that long, people begin to lose trust What happens then? The state faces more challenges, more pushback, and more frustration from the public. That is why proper governance matters. Without it, even the best laws or regulations struggle to take root. With it, implementation becomes smoother, transparent, and more credible. Let's take a look at the latest proposed timeline. AARTO Act rollout to the remaining 144 municipalities will now take effect on the 1st November 2026. The repeated postponement of implementation dates has become unreasonable. According to the latest timelines, the demerit system is now scheduled to take effect on the 1st of April 2027 across all municipalities. 1st April 2027 nationwide. Right now, the calls to scrap AARTO are louder than the calls to implement it. Abandoning the system will further weaken government processes and credibility. What we need is decisive leadership, transparent governance, and a commitment to restoring faith in our institutions. Do you think AARTO should be implemented despite the delays or scrapped altogether? I will leave this question for you to answer. Please comment below. Reasons for implementation delays. The government has decided to wait until the next financial year before moving forward. Why is that? Because the municipalities are the ones responsible for implementing the demerit system. Right now, the main argument is money, budget constraints. Officials are already citing that there is insufficient funds to proceed, and some municipalities are already warning that this system could drain their budgets. So, where does that leave us? For now, as citizens, we wait and we watch to see what happens in the future. A different perspective from citizens. The implementation of the AARTO Act carries a serious risk. It could further open avenues for corruption in South Africa. Right now, many traffic officers fail to issue tickets fairly or professionally, and bribery already undermines the integrity of road enforcement. Corruption will render the system inefficient. The rehabilitation efforts will be useless when there are still people buying driving licenses without proper training. If these practices continue unchecked, the AARTO system will not achieve its purpose. Remember, its goal is to temporarily remove reckless drivers from our roads and ensure they are rehabilitated before returning. The hope is that rehabilitation will renew their mindset and change their behavior. Therefore, it is important to eradicate corruption throughout the whole process for the system to be efficient and effective. Let's take a look at possible solutions. It is critical to overhaul the entire ecosystem. The whole supply chain or processes need a complete overhaul. From testing stations to licensing procedures, testing stations must be safeguarded against bribery, and licenses should never be issued illegally or be sold without proper examinations. Without addressing these foundational issues, AARTO will remain vulnerable to inefficiencies and abuse. The main objective of changing driver behavior will be futile. As we all know, that without tackling driver behavior, we cannot curb road traffic accidents. The statistics are clear. More than 80% of road traffic accidents are caused by driver behavior. That is where the challenge lies. If the rehabilitation process fails, therefore the whole AARTO Act fails. That said, I believe AARTO should still be implemented even with its flaws. Only through real-time operation will the deeper gaps in the system be revealed. Current assessment highlights surface level problems, but the true weaknesses will only emerge once the system is actively in use in all municipalities. This will create opportunities for continuous improvement and reform, ensuring that AARTO evolves into a more effective and transparent framework for road safety. Just a heads up, be proactive about your fines. Make sure you settle all outstanding fines before the demerit system takes effect. This way you will avoid any confusion or the risk of having your license suspended because of past fines. This concludes our lesson. Words of encouragement: never stop learning. Ignorance is not bliss. Be safe on the road, be a responsible driver, avert road traffic accident. Goodbye.